Busted faces, broken limbs, TNA. Reliving crazy WWE moments is a lot easier than it used to be. Don't worry about pulling out old VHS tapes or scouring the internet for footage. We've gathered the most paused wrestling moments ever right here. See the moments fans have been talking about for years and will continue to talk about in the future. Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of new content. John Cena's busted nose. John Cena is as tough as they come in the WWE. He's endured Iron Man matches, was smashed through a spotlight by the Big Show, and showcased the full Crimson Mask during an I Quit match against JBL. Even with all of these crazy moments, it was still shocking to see Cena's nose get broken on live WWE Raw. In a match against Seth Rollins, Cena was giving it his all and Rollins was giving it right back. After he delivered a few strikes, Rollins raised his knee and plowed Cena right in the nose. Cena quickly flopped down on the mat and crawled to the corner to cover the crazy amount of blood dripping down. The cameraman got a quick sneak at the dripping blood until it was quickly cut away. The match could have easily been stopped, but Cena continued on and fans spent a lot of time pausing and looking for the right angle to see the injury. It was like suddenly Cena was transformed into Owen Wilson, his nose was smashed so badly. Of course, Owens took the opportunity to mock the injury in the following weeks, showing the image of his crushed nose over and over again. One surgery later and Cena's nose was back to normal again. Rey Mysterio breaks The Undertaker. It seems like Rey Mysterio was constantly put into situations where he had to try and conquer a giant using moves and ring skills. One of these times occurred during a match between Mysterio and The Undertaker back in 2010. Mysterio would do anything he could to keep the dead man down, including his springboard senton. When Mysterio's legs wrapped around The Undertaker's head, all of the weight came crashing down into The Undertaker's skull. The result of the move created an instant bloody nose, but the injury was worse than that. Despite finishing the match, The Undertaker was diagnosed with a broken orbital bone, broken nose, and a severe concussion. Pausing the replay, you can see the Taker's head bounce off the mat and slam into Mysterio's tailbone with full force. Strong and resilient, The Undertaker was able to swipe away the blood and come out with a victory. Unfortunately, he had to miss several months of action due to the injury and didn't return until SummerSlam later in the year, where he began another feud with his on-screen brother, Kane. The Undertaker is usually the one delivering the punishment, so it was rare to see the dead man in such a vulnerable state. Stone Cold's bloody face. The rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin wouldn't be what it is today without his match at WrestleMania 13. After winning the 1997 Royal Rumble by cheating, Austin lost a spot in the main event and was placed in a heated match against Bret Hart. Hart entered as the babyface and Austin entered as the heel, but the roles were reversed by the end of the night thanks to Austin's heart and determination. The two superstars spent a majority of the match brawling through the arena and outside of the ring. At one point, Austin's head was split open after smashing into the timekeeper's table. The blood flowed for the remainder of the match, including an iconic moment when Austin was locked into a sharp shooter. Austin refused to tap as blood dripped all over his face and into his mouth. This moment would define the tough SOB for years to come. It was plastered in magazines shared through dial-up internet and paused on the VHS releases of the event. Austin eventually passed out and special referee Ken Shamrock awarded the victory to Bret Hart, even though Austin never submitted. Blood can truly be used to tell a great story without showing blood for the sake of blood. A brutal headbutt. If there's one thing missing in the PG era, it's the lack of blood and violent matches fans fell in love with during the Attitude Era. Even though the WWE remains strictly PG, they have managed to trickle a few moments of blood into various moments and matches. One of the more recent moments came during a confrontation between Kevin Owens and Vince McMahon. After Owens felt like Shane McMahon screwed him over the United States Championship, Owens began calling out to the whole McMahon family and insulting them in the process. Vince McMahon showed up on SmackDown Live to confront Owens and book a Hell in the Cell match between Shane McMahon and KO. Owens accepted the match, but didn't hesitate to take advantage of the situation. One massive headbutt later and Vince McMahon was down on the mat. Not only was the attack shocking, but the fact that Vince McMahon bled from his forehead made waves through the WWE universe. Fans watched the clip over and over to see if it was a hard cut, if he bladed, or used some other type of blood packet. The moment built a lot of hype and potential for the future of blood in the WWE. A live celebration. Edge's first WWE title victory was deserving of a big celebration. He was the first superstar to win a successful Cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. He spent years bouncing from the tag team division to the WWE mid-card without a clear path to main event status. He even defeated John Cena, a man who was on one of his best runs with the company and had the title for 280 days at this point. The big celebration for Edge was not filled with falling balloons, parades, or pyrotechnics. He decided to create his own brand of fireworks with a live in-bed celebration in the middle of the ring with Lita. What initially looked like some type of fake stunt that would quickly be disrupted seemed more like the real thing. After both Lita and Edge got under the covers, real clothes came flying off and would launch outside the blanket during various parts. Keen observers with quick use of the pause button were able to tell Lita had actually taken her clothes off and revealed a lot more than expected to the millions of people watching at home. This was the night where Edge truly became the rated R superstar, and he has Lita to thank for a lot of it. Wow, those are some crazy pause moments, and we have plenty more, but first it's time for a quick trivia question. Stay tuned until the end for an answer. Lita's revealing moment was pretty shocking, but could you name the WWE diva who had her whole top ripped off during the WWE Capital Carnage pay-per-view? Randy Orton, back of TACKS. Randy Orton has gone through a lot of nicknames through his WWE career. Now referred to as the Viper, or Apex Predator, one of Orton's first nicknames was the Legendary Killer. To help live up to the status, Orton spent multiple months in a feud against Mick Foley. This all culminated in a 2004 hardcore match against Foley at the 2004 Backlash pay-per-view. The matter was a violent and bloody affair featuring all kinds of violence and weapons between the two. One of the craziest moments came when a giant bag of thumbtacks was spread across the ring. Orton had set up Foley for an RKO into the tacks, but Foley pushed Orton away from him, and Orton's whole body landed into the pile of tacks. As he withered and screamed in pain, the cameraman got an incredible shot of Orton's back filled with dozens of real tacks. Tack spots have been done before, but nothing with such an open and bare back being placed over such a large amount of tacks. The tacks even extended all over his arms and down his legs. The moment was a huge highlight on the match, and it's still crazy to see so many tacks embedded into Orton's skin. Ladder meets face. Anytime you're dealing with a giant piece of hardware, something bad is bound to happen. Ladders have malfunctioned, broken, and delivered more injuries to superstars than people expect. Just ask Joey Mercury. A ladder literally changed his whole career, and it all happened in just a matter of seconds. As part of the M&M tag team, Mercury was involved in a fatal 4-way ladder match for the tag team championship at the 2006 Armageddon. While mixing it up with the Hardy Boys in the ring, Mercury's face was placed directly over a ladder when Jeff Hardy jumped off the top rope and slammed the ladder onto Mercury's skull. Mercury's face was immediately torn open with blood pouring everywhere. He needed instant medical treatment and was forced to leave the match. There are two crazy moments fans love to pause from this match. The first is the initial impact with the ladder to the skull, and the second is the bloody aftermath. Pictures and video were released days later showing the extent of the damage. Fun fact, a lot of emphasis is put on the Hardy Boys and M&M when it comes to this match, but the tag team of Paul London and Brian Kendrick actually won. The infamous shooting star press. Any current WWE fans following Brock Lesnar may think his moveset is limited to a suplex, a few spears, and a few MMA submission moves. It wasn't always like this. Lesnar not only had an extended moveset, but he also had the ability to wrestle for more than 10 minutes at a time. Hell, he even had an Iron Man match against Kurt Angle. One of his more risky attempts came at WrestleMania 19. Lesnar was competing in the main event against Kurt Angle with the WWE Championship on the line. With Kurt Angle laying more than halfway across the ring, Lesnar attempted to do a shooting star press, which fell a little short. He had done the spot numerous times before in developmental, but on the biggest stage he misjudged the distance. Lesnar's skull crashed into the mat and he was actually knocked out for a few minutes because of the impact. Not only did fans often pause the crazy high-flying moment, but you could see the flash of hundreds of cameras which also capture the flawed move. The part just before Lesnar hits the mat is often one of the most viewed screenshots. It looks like Lesnar is going to snap his neck and his head extends and rockets towards the ring. Even after the botch, Lesnar was able to recover a little and defeat Angle. SABLE'S handprints. Sunny may have been referred to as the original WWE diva, but Sable helped catapult the women's division to all new heights. Not only could she wrestle, but she could put on a show and was often involved in a variety of bikini contests. She took on all types of challengers throughout her career, but one of the biggest rivals was Jacqueline. The two competed in a lot of real matches, along with beauty contests. One of Sable's most loved bikini contest appearances came at the 1998 Fully Loaded pay-per-view. Set just before the main event featuring Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker against Mankind and Kane, Sable and Jacqueline squared off to see who wore the best bikini. The WWE Universe was shocked when Sable removed her cover-up clothing to reveal nothing but painted handprints on her chest. She was practically naked, and the moment was talked about for months after it happened. Jerry Lawler hosted the event, and his reaction to Sable's reveal was priceless. Naturally, you would think Sable won the contest, but she was actually disqualified because her painted handprints were not actually considered a bikini. In the end, the true winner was anyone watching the event live in the arena or at home. Sid snaps his leg. Sid Justice, Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious, whatever you want to call him, Sid has suffered some pretty bad breaks throughout his wrestling career. He's messed up on the mic numerous times, was involved in an awful debut of the Shockmaster, and has suffered a lot of setbacks due to injuries. Despite all these gaffes, nothing will top the broken leg Sid suffered while in WCW. The moment has probably been seen more than any of his WrestleMania matches. At the WCW Sin pay-per-view, Sid Vicious took on Jeff Jarrett, Scott Steiner, and Road Warrior Animal in a fatal 4-way match for the championship. Midway through the match, Sid jumped off the second rope and instantly snapped his leg while making impact. His whole foot was contorted and dangled there unnaturally. Even more than 16 years later, the clip is hard to watch. The next night on WCW Nitro, they decided to replay the injury from every camera angle they had available, giving viewers plenty of gruesome shots to pause on. Sid's wrestling career was effectively over just like that. He needed multiple surgeries and had a rod placed up his leg to set it all in place again. Yikes. Thanks for watching. Now for your trivia answer. In the 1998 Capital Carnage pay-per-view, former WWE diva Jacqueline had her whole top ripped off by Sable. The revealing moment was kept on the VHS release of the event. Wow, there you have it. What past moments do you like the most? Are there any we missed? And what injury was the worst you've seen in wrestling? We're sure there's some in lesser known promotions that would make us hurl. Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to the Sportster on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos. Thanks for watching.